Ay, ay, ay. Folks, you ever have something, right? And you just want to do it, but you never seem to get an opening. You want to do this thing, right? But it's never the right time. Never the right time. Facebook, my post 2 days ago, the one with the 2 spinning globes, okay? Titled, I'm hoping this is a piggyback. So I get a notification from Facebook, oh, there's 10 comments. Go and answer some. Why don't you? You know, your fans. Well, now I don't know which one it was. A for effort, D for understand. Look, these are one after the other, right? Hang on, don't read. We'll go through them together. The first one, I went, right, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. I said, calling me an idiot, this, that, and the other, right? I say, right, tell me exactly, be specific on which part of my post that I'm wrong with. Specific. Tell me which part of my post I'm wrong with, right? And then I go on to say, you won't find anything wrong with anything in my post. It's all 1 + 1 = 2, right? Common sense and logic. Bang, bang, bang. I know what I said. I don't even need to go back and check it, because when I get up here and do stuff, I'm using logic. A, B, C. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = 4. All the way through. Now here's the thing. All of you people who commented here, let's read them. A for effort, D for understanding. Dumb as fuck. Facebook, rock and roll, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Let's keep it like that. Let's cuss at each other again. I used to enjoy that. This is funny. That's a tame one. I see you've set aside this special time to humiliate yourself in public. Now, for the first 1, 2, maybe the third one, I got into it saying, listen, the reason is because you cannot digest information. I said, be specific. Tell me where I'm wrong. And then another one, and the book. It's post time, right? For all you, if I may, dumb motherfuckers, right? All of you. Humiliate myself in public. This person is fucking stupid and should be ignored totally. Another retarded flerfer talking utter nonsense. I don't understand how stuff works, so it's fake. And then some meme about a village idiot. And then I run out of board. But there's more. I love it. None of you, all of you people, there could be some on Instagram now, some on TikTok, some on YouTube. Folks, all of you who write this stuff, you're idiots. Do you know why? Because you haven't absorbed any of the content. Do you know why? Because you cannot digest and break information down. Do you know why? Let me tell you why. I'm going to read from encyclopedias. This is the science that you think you've been learning. I see it everywhere. Every sentence. I have this thing where when I read a sentence, I pay attention to what is being said. And the amount of dead ends, it's unbelievable. And you think you understand about the tides and the moon. Listen to this, right? I keep looking in the mirror because my camera has gone and it keeps losing focus. I've underlined plenty. This is the stuff that you have learnt thinking it explains the tides and the moon. In the Pacific and Indian Oceans, mixed tides are more prevalent in these. The 2 high tides in one lunar day may be about equal, while the low tides are very unequal, or else the situation may be reversed. Did you get that? Let me read that again. I think I missed the line there. I'm excited. I've been waiting for this moment, right? Because all of you, every single one of you who write stuff like this, It's because you're a bit stupid. You cannot understand my content because it's logical. The stuff that you think you know nothing. You know nothing. It's funny. In the Pacific and Indian Oceans, mixed tides are more prevalent. In these, the two high tides in one lunar day may be about equal, while the low tides are very unequal, or else the situation may be reversed. Did that make sense to you? It probably does, actually. Right, here we go. Generally speaking, tides follow the lunar day of about 24 hours 50 minutes. Where there are semi-diurnal tides, there will be an interval of about 6 hours 12 and a half minutes between a high tide and the next low tide, and between a low tide and the next high tide. Listen in. In some places, however, the tides seem to be based on the solar day. So some tides seem to. You're learning about the tides in the moon. Some tides seem to be based on the solar day rather than the lunar day. In Tahiti, for example, high tides takes place at about noon and midnight. Low tide at about 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The reason seems to be that Tahiti is at the node of a basin whose waters are set in oscillation by the moon. Since there is very little relation to the tide-producing forces of the moon in this nodal area, the waters follow the tidal pattern set by the pull of the sun. Did you get that? You probably think, well, that kind of makes sense, I think. Let me read that last bit again. This is what I mean, folks. Your breakdown skills are gone because of stuff like this. You read this, right, without realizing that you might as well be reading the bunny rabbit hit the truck over the road and went for an ice cream at the beach. That is what you have been learning. And it's funny, but it's not funny. Because now, when you hear correct logic, correct information, you can't compute it. You cannot break it down. And you don't know. You probably see 1 + 1 = 2 and go, is that right? Guys, is that the majority thing? You know, like this, all of you. But all of you who do this stuff, it's scary because you think you understand. And I called each and every one of you out. Just one. Find one specific thing that I have said in any of the posts in the last week that is wrong. I'm calling all of you out. Just one thing that I've said that is wrong on every single post. You start listening to what I say and you'll find that everything is bang, bang, bang. But you see me up there and you go, ah, wankers. Keep that in there, Facebook, right? Seriously, I sometimes say there is a difference between people who are naive, it's not their fault, no. But this, just wankers, mate. Wankers. You haven't got a clue about anything. The stuff you've learned is bullshit. And my stuff, which is 1 + 1 = 2, logic and common sense. Bang, from start to finish. I know exactly what I said. I know what I say in all of my posts. I don't make shit up. That's the difference between us. You think this crap is knowledge, but it isn't. It's bullshit. And this is what I've been saying all along. Oh, I'm waiting for this moment. Right, where are we? We've done that one. Oh yeah, Tahiti. Let's read that last bit again. The reason seems to be that Tahiti is at the node of a basin whose waters are set in oscillation by the moon. Since there is very little relation to the tide producing force of the moon to this nodal area, the waters follow the tidal pattern set by the pull of the sun. Now, I read this and I look, these things slap out every time I read them, and I can see what's going on. But when do I start talking about this and it be listened to after this bunch of morons gives it all this? The reason you're saying that is because you either cannot understand logic and common sense, you just saw me and you didn't even listen to anything I said, which is an idiot's game anyway, or just donkeys in general, right? I stand here and call every single one of you out. One thing out of any of my reels that I've been doing for I don't know how long, because everything is logic and common sense. And my common sense will piss all over the science that you think is knowledge. It isn't. It's bullshit. I want to throw the mic down, but I haven't finished yet. The tide serves as a brake on the rotation of the Earth. 1961. On the rotation of the Earth. Their friction on the ocean floor, particularly in shallow waters like the Bering Sea, robs the Earth of its energy of rotation. This loss is very small. It has been calculated that it is only about 1/10 billionth of the total rotational energy of the Earth. Now, this is 300 billionths of a second out. The atomic clocks in 1971. You thought that was knowledge as well. See, the thing is, you just don't know when you're being had. And it's been going on for so long, but wait, it hasn't finished. However, it slows up the Earth enough so that the day is lengthened by about 1,000th of a second every century. See, you probably think, oh wow, those scientists must be really clever. And I go, what a load of bullshit. But you believe this crap, and you've been believing this crap for so long, you don't understand, you can't recognize correct knowledge. There's more. Okay, where are we? In fact, let's go over to these ones. Some speed of light stuff. You love this stuff. Okay, here we go. A direct method is this is measuring the speed of light. A direct method is the converse of the procedure of old Roma in the discovery of the velocity of light, i.e., to use the light equation or time taken by the light to reach us at the varying distances of Jupiter. But great accuracy is hardly obtainable in this way. What? Roma, the pillar stone at the speed of light, 1676. And here it says, but great accuracy is hardly obtainable in this way. See, guys, all the stuff that you think you've been learning, it's a joke. Listen to this one. A second method is by means of the constant of aberration, which gives the ratio of the velocity of Earth in its orbit to the velocity of light. Somebody, anybody, decipher that for me. But you guys read this and you think, oh, I know that. Let me read it again. A second method is by means of the constant of aberration, which gives the ratio of the velocity of Earth in its orbit to the velocity of light. See, I see these things, right? And it's like far out. But here we are, finally! What else have we got here? The ratio of the combined mass of Earth and the Moon to that of the Sun may be determined from the disturbing action of Earth and Moon on the elliptic motion of the planet. Really? See? What, you guys think that's good? Shall I read it again? The ratio of the combined mass of Earth and the Moon, the ratio of the combined mass of Earth and the Moon to that of the Sun may be determined from the disturbing action of Earth and Moon on the elliptic motion of the planets. Whoa. The ratio of the moon's mass to that of Earth is 1/81.3, and thus the ratio of Earth's mass to that of the sun is found in a manner similar to that described above. For the moon's parallax, the solar parallax is then derived. Why don't somebody work it out? Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You think you're also smart, but you're going to find that it's just dead end, boom, dead end, boom, dead end, boom, because none of it makes sense. Radar measures of the distance from Earth to Venus have provided the best determination of the solar parallax. By measuring the flight time of a radar pulse to Venus, the distance between the two planets can be obtained, allowing the determination of the unit distance between Earth and the Sun. Because we're always bouncing radar signals off of Venus, aren't we? Honestly, folks. It is said that the explanation for this phenomenon came to Bradley as he sailed on the Thames, observing how the wind vane on the mast shifted position with the varying motion of the boat, even though the wind had not changed direction. He concluded that the apparent stellar shift was brought about by the aberration of light. And they just keep shoving it up you, and you just don't even know. What's this? In 1543, it became increasingly imperative for astronomers to be able to observe and measure the parallactic displacement of a star, the change in a star's position over a 6-month period, to confirm the orbital motion of the Earth around the Sun. Such information would provide the empirical evidence. Those people, when they there is empirical evidence. We have hundreds and thousands of records of it. Honestly, Such information would provide the empirical evidence needed to augment the mathematical and conceptual arguments thitherto advanced for the idea that the Sun does not revolve around the Earth. All of this, all of it, it's a push and a push and a push towards round, all of it. All of this science, indirectly, there's a pattern. It's so obvious, right? So obvious. A second method is by means of the constant of aberration, which gives the ratio of the velocity of Earth in its orbit to the velocity of light. This, folks, is what is wrong with everything, because you have a majority who thinks they're too cool for school, but it boils down to one single fact. I call every single one of you who has ever written something like this about my content and point out something that I have gotten wrong. Point something out, not like a kilometre out, or I mean when I say facts or slam dunks or 1 + 1 = 2, or this is all common sense and logic based. Come on, you're giving it all this. You know better. I'm a flerfer talking utter nonsense. I don't understand how stuff works, so it must be fake. You guys need to take a good look at yourselves, right? Start reading some of the crap that you think you've learned that is knowledge, and then look at one of my posts, but shut the fuck up and process the information. It's information. The words are, it's not just caca, it's information. And in that information are facts. Facts. And those facts will show you that no, the sun cannot be coming up here on a horizon in the morning when Norway is having a midnight sun, also seeing it from the horizon, and that sun be 150 million kilometers away. It cannot happen. If you listened to what I was saying, you would see that. But because you can't break the information down because you think you're too cool for school. You're just puppets on strings. That's all you are. Laters, baby. I will be back.